Here we have the Cave Drake calling heroic combat, forcing the good heroes to heroic strike.
Marco playing it safe here.
Because they don't want to get charged into if the Drake successfully kills the Warriors of the Dead. And the heroic combat is successful. Today, I'm taking the Moria faction, with Groblog as my leader, a bunch of goblins, a bat swarm, and 2 cave drakes. Going up against the Return of the King Legendary Legion. It's going to be a tough one. All his heroes has heroic strike, which will make it hard for my cave drakes, but I did take a bat swarm. He also has a lot of terror, but luckily I brought a goblin shaman to mitigate that, so we'll see how that goes. It's going to be a tough one, but Marco, you're going down.
Alright, I'm Marco, and I'm bringing the Return of the King Legendary Legion. I'm running Gimli, Aragorn, and King of the Dead, with Aragorn as my leader. It's not a big force with 15-ish warriors, lots of strike, lots of might on the 2 heroes, and then King of the Dead bringing that instant kill with the wound. I think he's not going to be able to put his cave drakes into too vulnerable of a spot, with Aragorn being one threat and the King of the Dead being the other, with Gimli around to kind of clear up chaff if he needs to. But should be a fun time regardless.
Welcome everyone to another battle report. My name is Richard, and with me commentating today is Charles and Ian. We got a great match today. It's going to be my Moria taking on local tournament player Marco's the Return of the King Legendary Legion. It's a 600-point match, and the scenario we'll be playing is Hold Ground. Who do you guys like in this matchup?
Well, I'm assuming we've got the King of the Dead in there, and looking at the big beasties that Moria has, King of the Dead specializes in taking those down. So if Marco can leverage him, use him to pin down those monsters, I think he's got a good chance.
While I agree with Ian, I think Moria's numbers, I think they'll win the day. There's just so many more models, and I don't know if the Army of the Dead will kill them fast enough, but we'll have to see.
So the scenario today is Hold Ground. It is a Maelstrom of Battle scenario, so we're going to have all the warbands coming on from different directions. The game lasts until 50%, and then you start rolling a die, and on a 1 or a 2, the game will end. So random ending is kind of risky. Yeah, it's going to be tricky, I think, for the army that has less numbers. As you can see there on the map, the objective is within 6 inches of the center of the board, so whoever gets there first is going to have a pretty big advantage.
And also, as you can see, there's 2 eggs. Those give the Cave Drakes fearless when they're close. And that's going to really matter against the Army of the Dead. And we have the priority phase.
It looks like Evil will be deploying first.
Not necessarily something you want in this scenario or any Maelstrom scenarios.
Okay, but the first 2 warbands, they got good rolls, so they get to decide where they're coming on.
Well, that is the one thing. If you get to deploy everybody together and you go first, then you kind of set up some kill boxes, which kind of looks like what's happening here.
It's good that Richard's getting good rolls because 3 of his heroes only have 1 might each to modify their dice, so this is really good for him.
Yeah. All the warbands got 5 or 6.
Considering you got, what, 5 warbands? And they all came on together, that's pretty rare, without the expenditure of might.
Okay, it looks like Aragorn has to burn a point of might to not come on, because he doesn't want that too. He doesn't want the opponent to decide where he comes on.
Yeah, that's a good call, I think, especially when, like we said, you got that giant kill box set up, and you have the tools to do it.
It looks like the King of the Dead and Gimli deploy on the opposite side of Moria. Nothing in the shoot and fight phase. And now we have turn 2. This time it goes to good.
Which again is not necessarily what he wants.
Goblins are spending might already to try to get to the center first.
I think that's a good move because they do move quite slowly.
Yeah. It's dangerous. Well, he has to send his warband on the table first before any evil models get to move, so. The only march that the good side have isn't even on the table yet. Oh, there he is.
Look at all of those goblins marching at full speed towards the center. Aragorn's better catch up with his might soon.
If the Fury goes off on the Shaman, that's going to be really key for this game because all the Warriors of the Dead cause terror.
Yeah. Well, it's the eggs are going to be really important too, so good placement for them. Yeah, the key thing to keep an eye on here is the Bat Swarm though, because the combination of a Bat Swarm and a charging Cave Drake is gonna kill any of the heroes the good side has in one turn.
And here we have turn 3. Priority roll goes to good this time. Aragorn starts burning some of his free resources for the heroic march to try to catch up and get to the middle.
It's so nice having those heroic marches for free. Just not using up your resources and just being able to move quickly. It's such a nice bonus for this army.
I wonder what the play here is for the good side. Do you get to the middle and just form like a turtling position with your few numbers?
Makes sense. When you have such small model count, you really want to keep everybody together, especially with the threat of those cave drakes. Like they can easily munch a couple warriors of dead in a turn, and that'll be a drastic reduction. Honestly, I think the move might be to move your heroes to the opposite side of where the Bat Swarm is and hope you can kill one of the cave drakes quickly.
And now going on to turn 4. Evil with priority.
So this is kind of where, like, we're not going to have combat this turn, I don't think, but we're going to get positioning for the next turn, and that's going to be key, right? Trying to line everybody up so they can get the charges off that they want to. And for the good side, like we said earlier, avoiding that Bat Swarm.
Good side has to be really careful. You see those 2 cave drakes flanking around both sides. They could easily get trapped and have nowhere to go.
It'd be nice this turn if they could move away from, like, concentrate on one of them, I think, and move away from the other one. Just ideally to get at least one round of combat in to try and bring one of them down before the other one gets in there, but maybe not. Looks like they're going for a central position, just trying to contest the objective as much as possible.
They do have the heroes bubble wrapped in the center, which is a nice conservative play.
And then we have a meaningless shoot face from the Moria side.
Classic Goblin Archers.
Next turn is going to be important because now both armies are within charge range. So whoever wins priority, next turn, it'll be big.
Oh, the good got the move. But they don't want to overextend, though, to go after the... Okay, and they're not. Doesn't look like they are doing that. They're just holding their position, getting close to the objective. Yeah, I think it might have been better if Good lost the priority in this round, I think, so they could get the counter charge if the Drakes wanted.
Oh, that Fury really paying off here with the Goblins getting the charge in. not having to take courage tests.
It actually just occurred to me that the Cave Drakes and the Bat Swarm combo is only really risky to Aragorn and Gimli because they don't have terror. Against the King of the Dead, the Bat Swarm's probably not going to be able to charge into it.
So we got the Mithril Crown by Groblog. Here we have the Cave Drake calling Heroic Combat, forcing the good heroes to Heroic Strike.
Marco playing it safe here.
Because they don't want to get charged into if the Drake successfully kills the Warriors of the Dead. And the Heroic Combat is successful. So that was a smart Heroic Strike counter by the good side.
It is enough to deter him. I don't know though. Even losing 4 Warriors of the Dead in one turn though, that is really rough. Which is, well, actually could be 6 actually by the end of this turn.
Oh, luckily, the Warriors of the Dead fight back, and they actually wound the Drake.
Oh, so King of the Dead will be eyeing him up now that he's fateless.
And the other Drake has to burn his might as well, just to take out the Warriors of the Dead.
So the Drake's looking a little vulnerable around the back of the bubble of dudes. If Marco can isolate them, he's going to be in a decent position.
The might is really important on the Cave Drake, so losing both right off the bat, it could spell trouble for the Moria player. Big priority roll coming up. It's a tie. The tie goes to evil. Aragorn calls the heroic move with his free might. An expected heroic counter by Groblog.
Well, this is going to be a key move to try and pin those Drakes in place so they don't go killing more Warriors of the Dead. Oh. Tricky for the good side now because they need to invest in resources to kill those Drakes, but it's going to take a lot from their heroes, but they need the Warriors to hold on while they do. If the Warriors get decimated before the Drakes go down, good side's in trouble.
Doesn't look like they're able to pin Aragorn though, so Aragorn still gets his heroic move. So it's not completely favored for evil side either.
And here we see Aragorn and Gimli going into Cave Drake. That's a combo you don't want to see as the evil player.
The Drake's really in trouble now.
And here we go, heroic strike on Gimli, as expected. And here we see have the second Cave Drake trying to line up a hurl, and if it goes off, he could actually potentially save the first Cave Drake.
Right, yeah, he'd knock down everybody in the combat. Oh, but he loses the fight.
He flops the roll.
Was he against what? How many ghosts was he against? Like 2?
2 ghosts.
That hurts. That hurts. It was a good try, though. That's a very good, very smart play for them to line up.
Looks like we have some casualties on both sides.
And the Cave Drake goes down with the trap and 2 heroes.
Oh, man.
It's a huge loss for Evil.
Yeah, but keep an eye on the numbers. Evil still has a significant advantage. They've barely lost any models. One of them was a big one, but everything counts as one in this scenario. Good is making good. They're making strong headway into the Evil army, right? Getting that Drake down last turn was big, and I think the other one is wounded a bit. So it could potentially go down in the future turns. However, good is almost at 50%. A couple more and they're broken, or 3 more and then they're broken. And that's not good. That's not good when Evil still has them almost at a 3-to-1 numbers advantage.
Evil is definitely winning here, even though they've lost a Cave Drake. They've only lost 1 Goblin, and typically Warriors of the Dead are not known to be the best fighters, but they're versing a Fight 2 army here, so their Fight 3 is really good, especially with Aragorn's banner effect. I would expect more Goblins to go down. If Marco doesn't start killing Goblins quickly, he's just going to be swarmed in a turn or 2.
I think if the hurl did go off, it might have actually been game right there and then. But without it, he was able to take out one of the cave drakes. So I think he still has a good chance to win the game.
If he can get that next drake down next turn, or maybe the turn after, I think he's got a real chance of winning this. But like you said, Charles, like it really depends on the Warriors of the Dead. If they keep falling this quickly, it's not going to matter.
There's also not many answers for Aragorn right now. And before we get back to the game, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of content coming up, more battle reports, regular podcast episodes, tier lists, and a lot more. So back to the game.
Big priority goes to evil. Well, I think we all know what's happening here. Aragorn? Yeah.
Must be nice to have might every single turn.
Has he spent a single one from his store yet?
No, he's still at full.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Another roll off. Going to good this time.
All right, they really needed that. Let's see, who can they get into this drake?
I'm surprised Aragorn's staying out of combat this turn.
He was a little bit out of position. I think he wasn't able to charge the cave drake, but Gimli was able to get in.
Oh, but he forgot to put a blocker in there, so now the bat swarm's going to peel Gimli off the fight. Uh-oh.
The Mithril Crown actually activates this turn, which is really big. Puts the goblins at fight 3, equal to the Warriors of the Dead.
Looks like we have a few goblins finally going down.
Yeah, but crucially, Gimli is peeled off by that bat swarm, and because of the 4 wounds on the bat swarm, he can't actually kill it this turn. I don't know.
Two wounds are dealt on the bat swarm this turn.
2 wounds, but the King of the Dead goes down. Ooh.
That was the right idea by Good, though, having the King of the Dead and Gimli in the same fight. He could have easily taken down that drake. And it was huge getting Gimli peeled off by the bat swarm, or else very likely that cave drake would have been a dead drake.
Ooh. So, I mean, he's still got Gimli and Aragorn with a pointy sword, so he's still got a reasonable chance of bringing it down, but it's going to be a lot harder because he's almost broken.
And evil wins another priority. Free heroic move again.
Get in there, Aragorn. Do something.
He's still at full store of might. I don't know if this is too conservative or if it's the right play.
Oh. Well, he's going to need it this turn, possibly for heroic combat or heroic strike, so.
And a lucky Prowler axe goes into Aragorn. He does pass the fate, though, so there's no leader VPs given up.
Looks like a good movement phase for evil, pinning down almost every model. Gimli getting charged by the cave drake.
Gimli strikes up again. And Aragorn finally burns a store of might to heroic combat.
Ah.
It looks like he wants to get into the cave drake with Gimli.
Okay, Aragorn.
Oh no.
Not enough space.
And that is heartbreaking.
It looks like he did manage to peel the bat swarm off of Gimli, though, which is going to keep him in the game. So it's all not for nothing.
That is a consolation prize, at least Good did not lose any Warriors of the Dead this turn. They're still in the game, I think. Just barely hanging on.
And finally, a priority going to good.
But who's the heroic move going to go to? Ah! Aragorn, my man. Another free one. Gotta love it.
And it goes to good.
Gimli wastes no time, charges into the Cave Drake.
Crucially, the bat is pinned by a Warrior of the Dead.
Very important. The goblins did block Aragorn from being able to help Gimli, though. So Gimli's going up against the Drake by himself.
How many wounds is that Cave Drake on? 4? I'm not likely to go down this turn. Well, it's risky though, you know, if you're only striking up with 3 dice, you know, you're not guaranteed the 6.
And Gimli loses the fight.
Oh no.
He rolls good enough with his fate, though. He barely survives.
Getting down to it.
Priority goes to evil, and we know what Aragorn likes to do.
Surprise, surprise. Countered.
Evil is out of might.
Oh no. This is dangerous position for Gimli because he's also out of might now, so it's all on Aragorn.
We see the Cave Drake not being able to get it to Gimli.
But even just reducing numbers is still going to be a benefit to evil now.
Groblog's crown hasn't done much this game. Aragorn chooses to hero combat again, burning another storage might. But he fails to kill the goblin.
Couldn't get
Saved
that
up all that might the whole time and both gone in a flash. Oh man.
And here we see the Cave Drake barge the Warrior of the Dead into Gimli.
Who needs heroic combats? That's a shame, yeah. If good had priority, that would have been different. They would have been able to fight the Bat Swarm fight first.
And there goes the Son of Glóin.
Another hero falls to rending attacks by Cave Drakes.
Shaman gets one of the... Yeah, that's big.
Yeah. Looks like good side's broken now.
So we'll start rolling to see if the game ends starting next turn.
Well, they really need that priority. Aragorn's gonna need his might for a key heroic strike against that Drake, I think.
Aragorn easily passes the courage test.
He's going straight for the Cave Drake.
Bring it down, bring it down! So he's got him and one friend. Theoretically, they could kill the Drake this turn.
There goes the last point of might to heroic strike.
Well, it's scary though, they got equal number of dice.
Some goblins are falling down now every single turn.
Slowly reducing, but Evil still has them 2-1 or 2.5-1 in terms of numbers there, and that's what matters.
And Aragorn loses
Oh.
the fight against the Drake.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's not looking good for good side at all.
He survives but takes 2 wounds.
Oh, and there's the game.
That is the game-ending roll. From what I can see, though, not all the goblins actually fit into the 6 inches in the middle. And it looks like all the good models do fit inside the objective.
That's one thing that I think Marco did well, was he formed this bubble near the middle so that not a lot of goblins could get into the center, and that kind of played out well for him.
He managed to get, well, his whole army in there at least, which is something when he doesn't have that many models.
All right. Let's send it off to the players for their post-game thoughts and post-game stats. Ooh, that was a close one. Even though the score was a 7-0, the game was actually much closer to that, as you guys saw. My Cave Drake in the beginning flopped a hurl roll, which was very, very important, which allowed him to kill my other Drake. Thank goodness Aragorn flopped a few rolls at the end of the game, or else it might have had a different outcome. Well played, Marco. That was a great game.
All right, that's a 0-7 loss for the Return of the King Legendary Legion. Very close game. 7-0 seems like it's a big difference, but yeah, it was pretty close. It was 9 models to, yeah, it was just, there's a lot less models around the 6 inches than I thought. I'm really happy I got the first Cave Drake down. That was kind of the game plan, try to slow the roll because they can kill a lot of models at once. Got one down. Second one was just held on for dear life, winning all the fights it needed to. Aragorn just wasn't able to do what he needed to do, and that led to a break in my forces, and the game ended basically the first turn I broke. So really close, very fun. Sounds like I'm, taking the copium, but I'm not that salty. So very fun game. Richard's a great opponent, and hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks.